Good afternoon and welcome inside the Lumpkin Center. We're set for tip. It's Cougar basketball back here on Cougar Sports TV. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Corey Aldis. Excited to be back inside the Lumpkin Center here in Columbus, Georgia. We're ready to go to work. Cougars coming off that tough home loss the other week against Xavier of Louisiana, 66-64 loss. Don't worry, they're ready to get back inside the win column and back on the right track here inside the Lumpkin Center. 2-2 is the record for the Cougars this season under head coach Robert Moore in his 10th season at the helm for CSU. Starting five out there for the Cougars, a little bit of a switch up inside the starting lineup as Stanley Taylor gets the nod here this afternoon in place of Jalen Thomas. Tuskegee rolls into town with a 1-2 record, but a team that is coming off a nice win against West Florida the other day. It was a 63-57 win for them. And Tuskegee is looking to try to bounce back after that loss against Montevallo. That was their last time out, a 77-73 loss against Montevallo. We're about set for tip-off here inside the Lumpkin Center. The starting five, Foster, Millington, Young, alongside Eads and Thomas for the Golden Tigers. And we're going to hear a lot about Eads in this one. James Eads, the senior from Orlando, Florida. This guy is an absolute stud and a monster for the Golden Tigers. Here we go. We're underway. Cougars looking to get back inside the win column, and a kick out already as Tuskegee. Look at the ball movement there, but got caught in the air as a traveling is going to be called on Eads. Slight little hesitation there for Eads. He's a 30% three-point shooter this season. He's a guy that can stuff the stat sheet and fill up the scoreboard for the Golden Tigers. Here's Moore. And he's going to be whistled for a travel. So a couple of travels to open up this game. These two teams are two teams that actually kind of turn the ball over quite a lot. Tuskegee averaging 15 turnovers per game. Cougars right behind them with 14 of their own. With it, it's Millington, the junior from Carlisle, Pennsylvania. He had a good outing against Montevallo the other night. Picking up 9 points and 8 boards in 32 minutes of action. Kick out, corner three. Golden Tigers can't get on the board first. Missed there by the senior Thomas. Tuskegee from the SIAC Conference. Couple of divisions out there over in the SIAC Conference. Tuskegee right now in the Western Division with a 1-2 overall record. Givens down low. Nice reverse right there by Cam Paulding. Going to the other side, using the backboard as a shield as the Cougars get on the board first. And Cam Paulding has been just an unbelievable asset for the Cougars to open up this season. And look at Ant Moore going in for the lay-in off the turnover. But Cam Paulding, a guy who had been averaging just 2 points and 2 boards in his career here at Columbus State. He has exploded this season, averaging 8 points and 8 rebounds per game. He's already put up tied his career high in points with 12 the other night. Grabbed a double-double, snatched 14 boards, a new career high for him. So just a big-time addition here for the Cougars. And I don't mean addition as in a new player, but addition as in the work that he put in the offseason for CSU, because it was a lot of work out here on the court. And that was someone that Coach Robert Moore has been extremely impressed with. All the work that he did in the offseason and the different player that he's become for this senior season. Another turnover there, this time by the Cougars. It's Millington. He's going to drive the lane on Brian Givens, and he gets it to go down. An and one opportunity for the junior. Couple of early turnovers here for the Cougars. And Tuskegee has a chance to take a 2-point lead. Free throw up and good. Millington averaging 12 points per game to go along with 5 boards. He scored in double figures in 2 of the 3 games this season for Tuskegee. Here's Moore, double teamed. Over to Givens. Givens left side with the pump fake. Now he's going to drive as a defender on him. He's going to go back out. Ant Moore for three off the mark. The putback no good there by Taylor. He cocked his arm all the way back. Thought for a second he might try to throw that one down, but a little bit outside the rim there. It's going to go back to the Golden Tigers. 6-4, the early advantage here for Tuskegee. 3 for Millington and 3 for Eads. Eads got his off that 3 ball. Millington, the crossover, hangs in the air, and a late whistle is going to come in as Millington is going to head back to the free throw line. This time the foul will be on Cam Paulding, his first personal. It's the team's second. Paulding and Givens with the 2 fouls here for CSU. Millington, a 64% free throw shooter this season. He's got one more coming. No good on that second one as well, but the putback is there. Cougars got to box out. Instead, it's Thomas who gets on the board for the Golden Tigers. 3 different scores already here for Tuskegee. They've doubled up the Cougars early on. Givens looked like he got fouled. Sure did. Millington just threw his hands in the air, but a silly foul there as Givens will head to the free throw line for 3. Brian Givens, for those that remember, our former head coach here for the women's basketball team, head coach Anita Howard. Givens, the nephew of Theo Howard. He gets that first one to go down. He was such a big-time player for the Cougars last season. Averaged 15.5 points to go along with 6 assists last year. He was a guy that could fill up the stat sheet in a hurry and a guy that loves to have the ball in his hands. So pound the rock down the court. Givens, an 82% free throw shooter so far this season. Gets 2 out of 3 there, 8-6. Tuskegee up by 2. Well, the Cougars, if you recall, they jumped out to that early lead against Xavier in their last game. They had doubled them up. They were up 18-9. It looked like they weren't going to have one of those hangover games as they came out firing, but then they ended up going stone cold from the field as Xavier, Louisiana grabbed the lead, and honestly, they never looked back, even though it finished just a 2-point deficit for the Cougars. The last lead that CSU had was late in the first half. Three early turnovers here for the Cougars. Nice block right there. Great defense, and Cam Paulding's gonna draw a jump ball as the Cougars will get the possession arrow. 16-17 left here in this first half. CSU's opening up this game, shooting 2 of 5 from the field. Got an early check-in here for Devin Porter Wilson. Played just 2 minutes off the bench in their game against Xavier the other night. Here's Givens driving. That's a good spot for Horton. He's off the mark, no good. Paulding can't corral it. It's going to go off of the Golden Tigers. That'll take us to our first break here on Cougar Sports TV. 8-6, Cougars trail by 2 here on this Saturday afternoon of Cougar basketball.
Choosing the right college can be a challenge. Does it offer degrees suited to your career goals? Are emerging fields of study more your interest, like cybersecurity, gaming, or environmental science? What about extracurricular activities, such as campus life, study abroad, or honors? Are scholarships and financial assistance available? Columbus State University has always been one of the most affordable colleges in Georgia. Now it's also one of the fastest growing. When you ask the right questions, you'll find out why CSU should be.
There are over 480,000 college athletes. Only 2% would go pro.
That means over 470,000 will not get a shoe contract. No autographs. No private jets. No fan clubs. No Hall of Fame inductions. Instead, they will walk away with something much more valuable.
A smile is the best thing you can wear. At Cook Dental Care, we have a smile.
Back here on Cougar Sports TV, 8-6 Golden Tigers in front in the early going. Mentioned Devin Porter Wilson checking into the game for the Cougars. As you see, Horton no good on that attempt there. Devin Porter Wilson, the junior from right here in Columbus, Georgia. One of numerous local products here for the Cougars, but he's a transfer from Chattahoochee Valley Community College. CVCC is in one of those pipelines for future Cougar players. Number of Cougars, not just here on the basketball team, but honestly all across campus have come from CVCC. Speaking of CVCC, their men's basketball team is led by Coach Ben Hicks. You'll remember him as a Cougar fan, a former assistant under Coach Robert Moore. And in fact, he had been coaching Georgia Southwestern for the past couple of seasons. He'd been down there leading the Canes. They had a rough year last year. And Coach Hicks decided to head on over to CVCC. One of the assistants over there as well is another former GA that we had here in Chris Reedy. So we definitely wish both Ben Hicks and Chris Reedy luck over there at CVCC. They're going to whistle a foul on the floor there. That foul on Evans, his first personal foul. The sophomore who's come off the bench. Didn't really get much PT last year, and Evans had just played in just 3 games off the bench and didn't score a single point, but he's been one of the big players off the bench here for Tuskegee this season through 3 games, as that one goes off the foot of Porter Wilson. It's going to fall to Taylor, who barely hits backboard. We mentioned Taylor getting the start here this afternoon, his first start of the season. Here's Evans with it. Down to 10 on the shot clock. Thomas picked up by Taylor. Thomas has to force up a tough 10-foot jumper, no good off the mark, and Taylor clears. BG has gone out of the game for the Cougars. We'll see Davis Jr. and Zay Horton running a lot of the point there, as that one in and out on that 3-point attempt was Robert Davis Jr. Boy, we've seen both Porter Wilson and Robert Davis Jr. come in, and both of them only played in 2 minutes off the bench in their last time out. Down to 7 on the shot clock. Horton for 3. Cougars finally get a 3-ball to drop, and they finally take the lead, 9-8. That shot is good as Tuskegee responds with a 3-pointer of their own. With it is Robert Davis Jr. up top. Over to Porter Wilson in traffic. Way off the mark on that attempt. 13.5 minutes left here in the first half. 11-9, the Golden Tigers in front. They'll try another 3. That time in and out, no good by Evans, as the whistle will be blown down low. And a couple more subs are going to come in for the Cougars. Far side, good defense there by Cam Paulding, and that one's going to be poked away by Zay Horton. He comes away with it all the way to the rack for two. No foul called as he hung in the air there and got it to drop down for the Cougars. Horton with a couple of buckets here for CSU. And another three-point attempt. It's an open one, and it goes down the hatch. This time, Thomas gets it to go down. Tuskegee has been working those screens and getting open looks for Thomas. He's now got 8, leading all scorers. Moore from the elbow. Buckets. (14-13). This game's got a good pace to it here inside the Lumpkin Center. Golden Tigers up by 1 right now. Horton picking up Boyd, who's also checked in for the Golden Tigers. They're down to 15 on the shot clock. With it is Evans. Down to 6. Why not give it into the hands of Thomas, but he's going to have to force something up. Double team comes, and the Cougars rip it away. Look out below! Zay Horton, 7 points here for the Cougars. They take the lead again, 15-14. A whistle, a foul away from the ball. Should take us to the under 12 media timeout. Zay Horton lighting things up here for the Cougars. He's got 7. CSU on top by 1.
A smile is the best thing you can wear. At Cook Dental Care, we have a smile for you. We believe in creating a dental experience for each patient that demonstrates kindness, professionalism, and knowledgeable service.
También tenemos un equipo bilingüe listo para ayudarle y cuidarle.
Insurance, financing, walk-ins, and new patients are always welcome.
Good morning.
Hi.
How you doing today?
For your family's dental care, visit us at cookdentalcare.com or call 706-689-2905. Again, that number is 706-689-2905. I am Dr. Kathy Cook, and I'm the official dentist of CSU Athletics. At Cook Dental Care, we provide dental dentistry for the entire family.
Dr. Cook,
Yes.
you have a patient in room 3.
Okay, thank you.
I knew that there was an opportunity to have my college paid for if I was good enough to play baseball at that level. That was going to make a big difference in my family. D2 baseball gave me an opportunity to play at a high level and to get an education that's going to be valuable for me throughout the rest of my life. I chose to take my experience of being a student athlete and pursue that within my career and to get a master's degree. If I wouldn't have had a baseball scholarship, there'd be no chance that I'm doing what I'm doing today.
Zay Horton for the Cougars with 7 points. Third team All Peach Belt Conference selection last year. Led the PBC in rebounds. Just shy of 10. Put up 15.5 points per game. He's pretty much a walking double-double, as he finished last season with 12 of them. (16-15) as Tuskegee takes the lead back. Hunter Preston, by the way, is checked in for the first time for the Cougars. So the 5 out there right now, this is a lineup that I haven't seen, as Robert Davis Jr. misses from the top of the key. It's Davis Jr. and Zay Horton alongside Hunter Preston, Ant Moore, and Cam Paulding down low. Quite the lineup out there. A lot of length and size out there for the Cougars when you've got the lengths of Ant Moore, 6'5", but he's got a long wingspan. Hunter Preston stands at 6'7", and then Cam Paulding 6'7" as well. Preston's going to check out. Taylor's going to come back in, and the first time that we'll get to see Jalen Thomas, who's checking in for the first time off the bench. He started the first 4 games for the Cougars. He's out there for the first time here for CSU. Thomas, another one of the local products right here in Columbus, Georgia. Played in every single game last season for the Cougars. Down to 7 on the shot clock. Thomas defending. Down to 4. Tuskegee doesn't realize it. They're just going to have to launch it down to 1. They don't see it. Shot clock violation. You can see Coach Benji Taylor down there on the sideline letting Millington and company know about it. Wasn't happy when that shot clock went off. Seven points for Horton, 4 for Antmore. The two leading scorers for CSU. On the flip side, it's Thomas and Eads. No surprise there between those two, as they both average 15.3 points per game this season. JT, mid-range, no good. Evans into the front court for Tuskegee. Oh, they left him wide open on the wing, but it's poked away. Good defense there at the very end. It's up ahead to JT. He's going to lose it. Zay Horton comes up with it, goes in, no foul, can't get it to drop. He'll get the tie-up afterwards, but whistle is going to come in, and it'll be Tuskegee ball. Well, they originally left Evans wide open there on the corner. Surprised he didn't take that three. And he has been struggling to open up the season. You know, he's a guy that Tuskegee feels confident in shooting the rock, but it's been a little bit of a struggle for Evans to open up the year. He's just 1 of 8 from deep. He's already 0 for 1 in this one. On it right now is Eads. Eads isn't afraid to shoot. Another three-pointer for James Eads, his second one of the afternoon. Him and Thomas lead all scorers with 8. Taylor off a screen, in and out, but the putback jam, and Moore comes flying in. A junior from Phoenix City, who the Cougars have needed inside their lineup this season. He had a red shirt last year, wasn't eligible. We got him eligible this year, and it's been such a big addition for CSU. Had 22 points and 8 boards against Mount Olive in that game earlier this season, as he's been averaging 12.5 points and 5.5 boards for CSU. And then look at the vision right there, finding Horton. Off the mark, no good, but there's more. Oh, the putback, he missed it. Cam Paulding can't get it to go. Another putback by Taylor, no good. Hustle down low for the Cougars, but no one can finish it at the rim. Coach Moore pleading for a foul down there. Cougars shooting just 7 of 23 from the field. They've already got 10 more shots than Tuskegee. Tuskegee has attempted just 13 shots so far, but they're 7 of 13. 4 of 7 from deep. That's how they have the 2-point lead. Eads again. We mentioned in the pregame this guy was a monster, averaging 15 points per game so far this season. Last year, he actually didn't play for Tuskegee, but the previous season, he averaged 16 points a game. And he's been a mainstay since his freshman year. He actually led the team in scoring his freshman year as well. Just the 3rd team foul for Tuskegee. It goes on Eads, his first, and it'll send Stanley Taylor to the free throw line. Taylor, just a 50% free throw shooter to open up his senior campaign. Averaged 9 points and 4 boards last year for the Cougars. He's kind of in and out of that starting lineup as well, but he ended up playing in every single game for CSU last season. (21-19), Tuskegee up by 2. 8 minutes remaining here in this first half. It's Boyd dancing, kick out, ball movement all around, and finally it's knocked away, although it goes right back to the Golden Tigers. Look at the Cougars flying around on defense here. Eventually it's going to be a corner 3 that's off the mark and boarded by Cam Paulding. Great defense there by CSU, flying to the ball on every single one of those passes. 7:45 to go here in this first half. Cougars trail by 2.
As kids fall in love with sports, our universities are working every day to keep college sports safe, so you can watch them play with a little less worry and a little more joy.
As Division II student athletes, we are committed to being our best.
Division II National SAC is proud to partner with the Sports Science Institute to play a role in the cardiac safety and health of student athletes.
Although many student athletes with heart conditions live healthy, active lives, up to 10 NCAA student athletes die each year of sudden cardiac death during athletic activities.
The facts are that immediate delivery of CPR and AED saves lives, so everyone should be CPR and AED trained. Please join us in this important initiative. Make it yours.
(21-19) here on Cougar Sports TV. Cougars are trailing. It's been a struggle from the field early in this first half. 30% shooting for CSU. Meanwhile, 53% from the field is Tuskegee. Paulding down low, up and under, and gets it to go down. We mentioned all the work that Cam Paulding put in the offseason on getting a shot like that down low, and you can see it paying off right there as Taylor hits the deck for the Cougars. No foul called, off the mark, no good on that three, and it's going to be boarded by Jalen Thomas. Cougars have a chance to take the lead on this possession. Thomas over to Paulding. Double team comes up top. Just checking into the game and not afraid to shoot is Carl Ivy. How about that for Carl Ivy? That's his first shot attempt this season. And he gets it to go down to put the Cougars in front. Carl Ivy hasn't scored all year. In fact, he's only played in one game so far this season. Carl Ivy just played in 1 minute against Barton. That was part of that 86-73 win to open up the 2019-2020 campaign here for the Cougars. Played in just 13 games last year for CSU. Gets that three-pointer to go down. A big one for the Cougars. They're back in front. From the free throw line, left it short. Clangs that one off the rim. That one missed by Eads. Not many misses that you're going to see from Eads. I mean, you haven't really seen any misses from Tuskegee so far in the early going, shooting over 50%. Eads is 4 of 6 from the field with a couple of threes. Thomas also with a couple of threes. As Millington is going to head back to the free throw line. This will actually be the second and one opportunity here in this first half for Millington. Chance to tie it here, 64% free throw shooter, and he's no good. He's missed already 3 free throws in this first half. He's just 1 of 4 from the free throw line. In fact, he's taken all 4 free throws for Tuskegee. Moore gets by his defender. Help defense comes, and they're going to call a charge. Great play down low there. Young came flying over the 6'9" junior, and he draws the charge for the Golden Tigers. Taylor clapping in the face of Thomas. Him and Thomas are getting after it down on the low block. On the ground right now and bouncing it over to Eads. Thomas now picks up Taylor, excuse me. Great defense right there by Stanley Taylor. Right in his grill, but it's going to go out on the Cougars. It will stay here with Tuskegee. (24-23). Cougars hanging on to this, a 1-point lead. That's going to be a 5-second violation. Cougars force another turnover. That's turnover number 9 on the afternoon for Tuskegee. Already 9 turnovers for the Golden Tigers, and the Cougars force their opponents into an average of 16 turnovers per game. The swing around, Horton from the corner. Off the mark, no good. Cougars still on top by just 1. Thanks to that Carl Ivy 3. Ball loose into the backcourt. That one's going to be taken away by Taylor. Over to Moore. Gets the roll. Ant Moore with another bucket for the Cougars. Gives them 8 points to lead the way for CSU. He's 4 of 7 from the field. 8 points, 3 boards, and a couple of steals. Eads drives in. Oh, what a play. Splits defenders and gets it to go off glass. Eads has been unstoppable here for Tuskegee. Taylor with it, top of the key. Here's a three-pointer off the mark, no good. Carl Ivy with the offensive board and the putback. Almost like a no-look shot there for Zay Horton. The rim has been friendly here for the Cougars. They've gotten a couple of roll-ins. So they grab the 28-25 lead. And another steal for CSU. He's got Horton up ahead, who's going to lay it up off glass for a 5-point advantage. It's going to force Tuskegee and Coach Benji Taylor into taking a timeout. We'll take a break as well. 30-25, Cougars up by 5.
It's not about where you were born. It's not about your gender or the color of your skin, or whether you're rich, poor, or in the middle. No matter what you play, if you have the skill and drive to succeed in school and in sports, we'll provide the opportunity.
The American dream to me as an immigrant means having the opportunities that my parents didn't have. Being the first one in my family to graduate, it meant everything my parents sacrificed for me to get to this point. It was paying off.
Estoy muy orgulloso de Michael por haberse graduado de colegio.
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not had a scholarship. It would just relieved a lot of the financial burden.
(30-25), biggest lead of the afternoon here for CSU with 3:43 left in the first half. Carl Ivy came in, drilled a 3 to give the Cougars the 1-point advantage, and they've gone on a little 6-2 run here to up the lead to 5. The defense has really been getting after it here for CSU, a great sight to see if you're a Cougar fan. Something the Cougars have struggled with in their past couple of seasons, but really getting after it on the court here this afternoon. 12 turnovers already for Tuskegee. That's what you like to see if you're Coach Moore and company. Driving the lane is Brian Givens. He finally checked back in. By the way, Brian Givens had sat for a really long time. He finally checks back in, and he'll head to the free throw line after drawing that foul. Season high in turnovers for Tuskegee is 18 this season. That happened in their opening game against Palm Beach Atlantic. That was part of that 91-71 loss back on November 13th. But they've already got 12 here with 3:10 still remaining in the first half. Givens good on the first one. Brian Givens, all 3 of his points so far. Now make it all 4 of his points so far have come from the free throw lines. 4 or 5 from the charity stripe with a couple of assists. By the way, he's only played in 5 minutes. Remember, he went out early in the game and he finally returned. He's played just 5 minutes so far in this one. Corner 3, rattles out, no good. Down low, no whistle. Ball's gonna bounce out and stay here with Tuskegee. 32-25, largest lead of the afternoon here for CSU. They're on top by 7. And once again, it's Eads with it. Gonna whistle foul away from the ball on Zay Horton. Boy, Zay Horton has been real active and kind of getting into it down low. Just a second personal foul, but Coach Moore will pull him out right now as Ant Moore will check back in for CSU. It's the 18th foul for the Cougars, so it's going to be a 1-1. Thomas perfect on the year at the free throw line, keeps it going. Thomas a chance to get into double figures right here for Tuskegee, and he does. He scored in double digits 2 times, now make it 3 times this season as the senior from Bainbridge, Georgia, has had a real good outing against the Cougars in this first half. Both him and Eads have been leading the way as Givens is off the mark on that 3-point attempt. It's Eads with 12, Thomas with 9. How about this? Or 10, excuse me. Only 3 players have scored for Tuskegee in this entire game. Oh, right as I say that, Morton decides to drill a 3 there from the corner to make it 4. But Eads with 12, Thomas with 5, Millington with 5, Morton with 3. Here's Moore, down low, going to work. Hook shot, no good, off the mark. Tuskegee, a chance to take the lead, clinging that 3-point attempt from the top as Morton couldn't get 2 in a row. It's Givens behind the back, Devin Porter Wilson. Eyes in the back of his head there from Brian Givens. And anytime you run the floor with Givens, you always got to be aware that the ball might somehow be coming your way, even if he is not looking at you at all. Not sure he ever even looked back there. So the junior from right here in Columbus, Georgia, at the line gets the first one to go down. Over at CVCC, Porter Wilson averaged 9 points and 8 boards a game. He was kind of like the Zay Horton over there in those double-doubles. Picking up 8 double-doubles for Chattahoochee Valley last year. And another foul is going to be whistled on the Cougars. That one's going to go against Brian Givens, and that's going to be his 3rd personal foul. So Givens went out early with the foul trouble and sat most of the first half, and now he's going to exit again after he picks up his 3rd personal. It's going to send Morton to the free throw line. It's going to be a 1-on-1 here. Excuse me, that's Boyd at the free throw line. And he's no good. So Cougars still on top by 3. 33-30. We've got 90 seconds left here in this first half. JT in between the legs. Step back from the elbow. That's JT's first bucket of the afternoon. We'll take that. Quick fire from distance. No good, off the mark, over the back. That one is going to go against Culver, and that should be team foul number 7, which means JT is going to go to the line for a 1-on-1. Thomas this season averaging 9 points a game, but this is first game coming off the bench this year for CSU. No good on that first one, but Cam Paulding is going to get the rebound. Back to Robert Davis Jr. Had that one knocked away, and he touched it last. He's saying he got slapped on the hand. Missed opportunity there for the Cougars on the 1-on-1 free throw. Jalen Thomas couldn't get it to go down. Coach Moore will take a 30-second timeout here with 1:09 left in the first half. 35-30 is our score here as CSU has jumped in front. They had been trailing in the early goings against Tuskegee. But thanks to a little 7-0 run, they jumped in front by 5, and they still maintain that 5-point advantage as it stands. Only one in double figures for CSU. It's Zay Horton with 11, as the Cougars are shooting just 38% from the field, and only 2 of 11 from distance here in this first half. The defense has been the difference maker here for the Cougars. It's not that often that you're going to say they're shooting just 38% and only 2 of 11 from distance, while their opponent is shooting over 40% and has made 5 threes, yet they're in the lead. That is solely because of those 12 turnovers that have been forced by this Cougar defense. 12 first half turnovers. Great move. That's a strong one right to the rack. Just talked about their defense, and Eads splits 3 defenders right there. Eads, a scoring machine, averaging 15 points per game this season, and he's already got 14 in this first half. About a 9-second differential between shot clock and game clock. Half minute to go here in this first half. They're trying to get it to Thomas. Thomas exploded early. He's been a little bit quiet since. Millington drives off glass, no good. Ball poked away. JT is going to come up with it. Plenty of time here if you're the Cougars, as Devin Porter Wilson's going to miss there on that attempt, and they'll have a chance to set it up top. Great job there from CSU. Now you can get the last shot. Now Coach Moore is telling them to go to work. Down to 3, JT, top of the key for 3 at the buzzer. That's the way to end the first half if you're the Cougars. Jalen Thomas, a couple of buckets, and he gets the 3 ball to go down for CSU. 40-32, they'll take their largest lead of the game into the halftime break. And we'll take a break as well. You're watching Cougar Sports TV.
These are your teams, your players, your community of fans. This is where they play, where they practice, where you cheer. At every meet, every event, every game. Your community is passionate, dedicated, supportive. You know the tension of a close game and the thrill of the win. So while you're cheering, keep an eye out for anything out of the ordinary. If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
We can stop to make sure someone is okay.
Get in the way and disrupt the situation.
Codify an authority.
Or walk them home safely.
We can change the language around rape.
We can make campuses safer for our teammates, our friends, and our classmates.
We cannot be bystanders.
Taking action isn't always easy, but it's on us.
To intervene.
Because we can. Learn more and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Opportunity to me means doing the things that will make you a better future. I always dreamed of graduating from college. So being the first one in my family to graduate, it meant everything my parents sacrificed was paying off. Having an athletic scholarship for the University of Mount Olive was key for my success. I had the opportunity to not only get an education, but be able to develop as an individual.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
NCAA Teamworks is how the NCAA, member schools, student athletes, and corporate champions and partners actively engage in outreach efforts where national championships are played. Through initiatives such as NCAA Community 101 service learning projects, disaster relief efforts, youth clinics, backpack and school supply donations, and support of Special Olympics and the Make-A-Wish Foundation, the NCAA and its partners work together to leave a lasting legacy in the community. For more information on NCAA Teamworks, go to ncaa.com/teamworks.
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not run Division II cross country for the University of Mount Olive. Having an athletic and academic scholarship was key for my success. Our coaches were really helpful with balancing out my academics and athletics. I decided to attend graduate school because I wanted to become an athletic director. Receiving the postgraduate scholarship through the NCAA provided me with the flexibility to choose the school that I wanted. So now I know that I can accomplish any goal that I set for myself.
On and off the court, we're focused on creating lifelong opportunity, and that starts with education. More college athletes are earning degrees than ever before, but we've still got work to do. That's why we're raising the bar for incoming freshmen, so they're prepared when they get to campus, and why teams can't play in championships unless they make the grade. Education matters, and putting academics first creates a pathway to a lifetime of opportunity.
A smile is the best thing you can wear. At Cook Dental Care, we have a smile for you. We believe in creating a dental experience for each patient that demonstrates kindness, professionalism, and knowledgeable service.
También tenemos un equipo bilingüe listo para ayudarle y cuidarle.
Insurance, financing, walk-ins, and new patients are always welcome.
Good morning.
Hi.
How you doing today?
For your family's dental care, visit us at cookdentalcare.com or call 706-689-2905. Again, that number is 706-689-2905. I am Dr. Kathy Cook, and I'm the official dentist of CSU Athletics. At Cook Dental Care, we provide dental dentistry for the entire family.
Dr. Cook?
Yes.
You have a patient in room 3.
Okay, thank you.
While they're focused on success, we're focused on them. Because protecting college athletes doesn't only happen on the field. After the buzzer, it's about healthier student athletes. So we're reforming to meet their needs, investing in groundbreaking research, and changing the conversation around mental health. We're working hard to protect college athletes because prioritizing their well-being creates a pathway to a lifetime of opportunity. Across divisions, sports, championships, and schools, for nearly 500,000 student athletes, college sports create lifelong opportunity, and that starts with education. We've raised the academic bar, so more are earning degrees, creating healthier campuses by working with the nation's brightest minds, and making sure more have the chance to succeed and are supported on their journey. But beyond the numbers, it's about opportunity, and we're working to provide it for every student athlete.
The American dream to me as an immigrant means having the opportunities that my parents didn't have. Being the first one in my family to graduate, it meant everything my parents sacrificed for me to get to this point. It was paying off.
Estoy muy orgulloso de Michael por haberse graduado de colegio.
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not had a scholarship. It would just relieved a lot of the financial burden.
We can stop to make sure someone is okay.
Get in the way and disrupt the situation.
Codify an authority.
Or walk them home safely.
We can change the language around rape.
We can make campuses safer for our teammates, our friends, and our classmates.
We cannot be bystanders.
Taking action isn't always easy, but it's on us
to intervene.
Because we can. Learn more and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
From court to court and lane to lane under the lights or under the sun, no one delivers Division II sports like NCAA.com. The center of D2 is inside the NCAA.com hub with exclusive highlights of every sport and live broadcasts of every Division II championship found nowhere else. Make NCAA.com yours, the home of Division II college sports.
It's more than a whistle or a call. We're committed to giving college athletes a fair shot, on and off the field. Covering the full cost of attendance, because college costs go beyond tuition. Keeping dreams on track, regardless of performance or injury. And creating equal opportunities and inclusive environments. It's about respecting college athletes and prioritizing fairness to build a pathway to lifelong opportunity.
As a student athlete in college, I first got involved with the NCAA at the national level. It was through the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, SAC, gave me an opportunity to advocate on behalf of all student athletes, to affect change and to make an impact. The NCAA is giving the student athlete a platform to voice their concerns and to be able to advocate for what's going to affect their well-being. The policies that are being put in place are speaking towards academics, they're speaking towards well-being, they're speaking towards fairness, creating a culture so that the student athletes have the best experience as possible.
Label me.
You know you want to.
Don't be shy.
You do it behind my back.
Say it to my face.
You don't know me.
You know what I am?
I'm a pitcher.
I'm a striker.
I'm a point guard.
I'm a linebacker.
I'm a setter.
Shortstop.
High jumper.
Wrestler.
Defender.
Goalie.
Student.
Student athletes.
That's who we are.
As Division II student athletes, we are committed to being our best.
Division II National SAC is proud to partner with the Sports Science Institute to play a role in the cardiac safety and health of student athletes.
Although many student athletes with heart conditions live healthy, active lives, up to 10 NCAA student athletes die each year of sudden cardiac death during athletic activities.
The facts are that immediate delivery of CPR and AED saves lives, so everyone should be CPR and AED trained. Please join us in this important initiative. Make it yours.
Welcome back here on Cougar Sports TV as the second half about to get underway here inside the Lumpkin Center. 40-32, Cougars on top here at the halftime break. Well, CSU didn't really shoot that well from the field in that first half. They did finally crack the 40% clip, though, at the buzzer there as they finished the first half 15 of 37 from the field at exactly 40%. As Jalen Thomas hit that buzzer-beating three. Just three made three-pointers for CSU in that first half. JT, Carl Ivey, and Zay Horton. Zay Horton leading all Cougar scores with 11 in that first half. Surprisingly, only one rebound, though, for Horton. 8 points for Moore, 7 for JT off the bench. Meanwhile, on the flip side, it was the Eads and Thomas show. Eads with 14 on 6 of 9 shooting with a couple of threes. Thomas had 10 points with 2 threes as well. Wide open look. Taylor clangs one there as the Cougars miss a couple of shots to open up the second half. Despite the poor shooting, it was the Cougar defense that got after it, and there they are again as Ant Moore comes up with the steal and forces another turnover by Tuskegee. 13 turnovers now for Tuskegee. They had 12 of them there in that first half. Remember, their season high so far through 3 games is at 18. They're getting closer and closer to that. Into the corner, JT for 3. So Thomas gets the start here in the second half after he came off the bench to open the game for the first time. And in fact, it's going to be Brian Givens who's going to be coming off the bench for the Cougars as he's not out there with those 3 personal fouls. 3 fouls in just 7 minutes for Brian Givens. So he's been riding the bench with foul trouble. So it's Thomas and Horton with Moore, Taylor, and Cam Paulding as Moore just gives that ball up. And a throwdown there by Millington. Moore wanted no part of that after he gave that ball away. A little bit of a careless pass there from Ant Moore on the turnover by CSU. They had a couple of early turnovers within the first minute, but they only had 5 total turnovers so far in this one. They're going to call a loose ball foul there on CSU, pushing the back. It's on Cam Paulding, his second. No foul trouble at all for Tuskegee. 6 different players with just 1 personal foul apiece. Right now it's Givens with 3, and Paulding alongside Horton with 2 apiece. Oh, they left the lane wide open. No help side defense there as Millington's going to walk in. So Millington's had an easy layup there and a throwdown dunk off the steal. He's got a quick 4 points here in this second half. Lead down to 4 for the Cougars. Moore over the top to Paulding, and the whistle is going to be blown. It's good positioning there by Cam Paulding down low. On that cue, with the offense sputtering just a bit, Brian Givens going to check in, so he's got to be careful with those 3 personal fouls. Givens off a screen, left alone in the corner. He got fouled. That's the second time that he's been fouled on a 3-point attempt. This time it's Trey Foster. Are they going to say that it was just a 2-pointer there? No, they're going to say it was a 3-point attempt. So 3 free throws upcoming here for Givens as he gets the first one to go down. All of his points have come from the free throw line. He's made 5 free throws. One more to go here for Givens. And he gets it to go down. So 7 of 8 from the free throw line is Brian Givens in this one. All 7 of his points at the line. 43-36. 7-point advantage. Here's Thomas. Flings one into the corner. Down to 15 on the shot clock. Got caught in the air was Millington, but somehow Tuskegee keeps it. Quick fire three, left short. Ball bouncing around. Cougars got to grab a rebound. Rebounds haven't been going the Cougars' way as Tuskegee almost in the double figures in offensive boards now. Here's Givens. Behind the back, Brian Givens racing all the way up ahead, and he'll head back to the free throw line. BG making a living at the line. He'll attempt free throws 9 and 10 for his afternoon. This time, though, just 2 free throw attempts here for BG as he misses the first. BG, an 82% free throw shooter this season, much improved from last year when he shot 67% from the line. And in fact, the most free throws that he shot all of last year was 9 in a game against Flagler when he went 8 of 9 from the free throw line. So this, a new career high for BG at the line, is he's attempted 10 free throws here. 8 of 10 from the line is BG for 8 points. And speaking of 8 points, it's an 8-point advantage and another Tuskegee turnover. 15 turnovers now for the Golden Tigers. So the original starting 5 from the first half to open this game out there right now for CSU. Ball movement here from the Cougars. BG with 11 on the shot clock. Into the corner. Horton thought about it. Up top, BG for 3. Well, they're going to whistle a foul there on Mike Young. Loose ball foul there on Young. His second, he's immediately going to check out as Culver comes back in. Cougars shooting just 1 for their last 7 from the field. In fact, they're just 1 of their last 9 from distance. Yet despite all of that, they have an 8-point advantage. Moore can't get the putback there. Couldn't quite hang on to it as he was trying to go up. Here comes Tuskegee. Into the front court, spinning. That one poked away from Eads. Finally, great defense there on Eads. Over to Horton! Almost caught a body there as he went up for the slam. That just about brought the house down. But a foul there on Tuskegee. 15:37 left in this one. 44-36. Cougars up 8.
Choosing the right college can be a challenge. Does it offer degrees suited to your career goals? Are emerging fields of study more your interest, like cybersecurity, gaming, or environmental science? What about extracurricular activities, such as campus life, study abroad, or honors? Are scholarships and financial assistance available? Columbus State University has always been one of the most affordable colleges in Georgia. Now it's also one of the fastest growing. When you ask the right questions, you'll find out why CSU should be.
There are over 480,000 college athletes. Only 2% will go pro.
That means over 470,000 will not get a shoe contract. No autographs. No private jets. No fan clubs. No Hall of Fame inductions. Instead, they will walk away with something much more valuable.
A smile is the best thing you can wear. At Cook Dental Care, we have a smile for you. We believe in creating a dental experience for each patient that demonstrates kindness, professionalism, and knowledgeable service.
También tenemos un equipo bilingüe listo.
44-36. Cougars up 8. Horton at the line for 2. Gets the first one to go down. Zay Horton almost had his second throwdown of the afternoon. Got fouled, though. He's a 67% free throw shooter this season. So Cougars now into the double-digit territory with the lead, up 10, 46-36. 15 and a half left in this one. Double team comes on Millington. It's Taylor and Moore. He finally gives it up, and look at the passing down low, but a missed layup there by Eads. Goes right back to Morton, who loses it, and Givens comes away with it. Givens up ahead, Zay Horton. And the Cougars will reset up top. Horton looking for Taylor down low. The double over the top comes on Taylor. Skip pass, Ant Moore. No reset again. Horton somehow finds himself in the corner, doesn't take it, drives a lane, dump down Cam Paulding, double clutch, no good. Ball is going to go off the Cougars. They're saying that it went off Tuskegee. As the referees going to give it to the Golden Tigers. Last lead that Tuskegee had was a little past the midway point in the first half. They were up 21-19 with 7:45 left in the first half. That three-pointer left short there from Eads. 7 of 12 now from the field. Here's BG driving and one. How about Brian Givens, his first field goal make of the afternoon? He was 0 for 3 from the field with his 8 free throw makes. Finally gets a field goal attempt to go down. He'll also be back at the line for a free throw attempt number 11. No good on that one. He's 8 of 11 now from the charity stripe for the Cougars. He's in a double figures alongside Zay Horton. So Horton with 13, Givens with 10. Cougars employing their zone defense here. Boyd dribble penetrates. Oh, what a crossover move right there by Eads. Pretty play there from the senior. He'll head to the free throw line. Eads with 16 points, 5 boards, and 2 steals, putting together one of his best performances of the season. His season high was 19 points. Came in that 20-point loss against Palm Beach Atlantic to open up the year. But he scored in double figures in all 4 games so far for the Golden Tigers. Leads the team in scoring, both him and Thomas. Missing that free throw. Second one, no good as Taylor corrals it. (48-36), Cougars find themselves up double digits here against Tuskegee. Into the corner, Horton for 3, left it way short. Horton now just 1 of 6 from behind the arc. As the Cougars have struggled mightily as a team. They're just 3 for 18 from distance in this one. Horton lost it, but he got fouled. Preston was there. But it looks like Horton will be the one to go to the free throw line for the Cougars. It's already the 7th team foul here for Tuskegee. That means that the Cougars are going to be living in the bonus for the rest of this second half. Horton good on the first one. And he gets both to go down. He's got 15 here for the Cougars. Zay Horton getting back on track. He's struggled in his past couple of games. I say struggling, even though he's still putting up 13 points and 6 boards per game, but for him, that's a little bit of a struggle. The conference player of the week in the opening week of the season. It's a good box out by Ivy, but no one was there to corral the rebound. Driving the lane and heading back to the free throw line is James Eads, the do-it-all senior from Orlando. By the way, that foul is going to be on Givens, which means he's going to be hitting the bench with 4 personal fouls. We'll see how long Coach Robert Moore decides to sit Givens with 4 personal fouls, but he's only played 12 minutes in this game. Despite that, he still has 10 points, 3 boards, and 3 steals. So the 5 out there for CSU. And another lineup that I'm not sure we've seen all season long. Robert Davis Jr., Carl Ivy, Devin Porter Wilson, Ant Moore, and Hunter Preston. That's the 5 out there for the Cougars. So mark it down right now with both Horton and Givens going to the bench. With under 13 remaining, Cougars up by 11. Can they maintain that lead? It's Carl Ivy. No good on that 3-point attempt. Cougars now 3 of 19 from distance. Driving the lane, and Robert Davis Jr. is going to be whistled for the foul, as Boyd will head to the free throw line for 2. The foul starting to rack up here on the Cougars. But for Tuskegee, it's been a big struggle from the free throw line. They're shooting just 36% this afternoon from the line. They're 4 of 11. There's a make there from Boyd. Boyd's only missed 1 free throw this season. The junior gets both free throws to go down. Down into single digits. 50-41. Lead down to 9 for CSU. Ivy up ahead. Anthony Moore. He's going to drive all the way in, taking it strong, and the blocking foul is going to be called. That's a great take there by Anthony Moore. Coach Benji Taylor can't believe it wasn't a charge. But late to get there was Thomas, as Ant Moore will head to the free throw line for 2. By the way, this might come as a big surprise to most of our viewers out there, but this is the first time in the last 15 seasons that the Cougars and Tuskegee have met. And when we put that stat together, honestly, I could not believe it. I swear we play Tuskegee in every single sport, every single year. But apparently not for men's basketball, because this is the first time since 2004 that these two teams have met. Back then, Cougars came away with a 11-point win. How about CSU Hall of Famer Yandel Brown dropping 43 in that one for the Cougars. Been a long time since these two have squared off, despite their somewhat close proximity. Far side, it's Millington. Picked up by Ivy. Down to 10 on the shot clock. It's Boyd. Great look down low. Short little hook shot goes down. It's a great vision there to get that ball down to Mike Young. Devin Porter Wilson with it. And the Cougars will set things up with an 8-point advantage. Again, where's the scoring going to come from in this 5 that's out there on the court as Hunter Preston loses it? And a turnover for the Cougars. It's Millington dribbling in between defenders, weaving in and out. They're looking to go down low again to Young, and they're going to foul Robert Davis. Whistle a foul on Robert Davis Jr. again. So Davis Jr. picked up a couple of quick fouls. And the Cougars are up by 8, but that lead's starting to dwindle here inside the Lumpkin Center, 51-43. You're watching Cougar Sports TV.
A smile is the best thing you can wear. At Cook Dental Care, we have a smile for you. We believe in creating a dental experience for each patient that demonstrates kindness, professionalism, and knowledgeable service.
También tenemos un equipo bilingüe listo para ayudarle y cuidarle.
Insurance, financing, walk-ins, and new patients are always welcome.
Good morning.
Hi.
How you doing today?
For your family's dental care, visit us at cookdentalcare.com or call 706-689-2905. Again, that number is 706-689-2905. I am Dr. Kathy Cook, and I'm the official dentist of CSU Athletics. At Cook Dental Care, we provide dental dentistry for the entire family.
Dr. Cook,
Yes.
you have a patient in room 3.
Okay, thank you.
(51-43) and another foul on Davis Jr. Before the ball was even inbounded. That's 3 fouls in a row. Davis Jr. is asking what he's got to do. He puts his hands behind his back now. Off the inbound, heading back to the free throw line goes Eads. This game has kind of all of a sudden crawled to a halt here with all the whistles. 51-43, so both of these teams are going to be living in the bonus for the rest of this game. And now Coach Moore gets some scoring back in there as Zay Horton has checked in alongside JT and Cam Paulding. It's those three with Porter, Wilson, and Moore as the 5 out there on the floor. Full court press once again by Tuskegee, and Horton turns it over for an easy lay-in. Another turnover for the Cougars. Their 8th one of the game. Their lead down to 5. Pressure giving the Cougars some fits. Thomas was way off the mark there, didn't hit the rim. Shot clock didn't reset. Down to 3 on the shot clock. Here's Zay Horton. Finally a 3-ball. Cougars shooting just 18% from distance. They finally get one to go down. Just their 4th one in 20 tries this afternoon. And a much needed one right there. Oh, there was about to be a breakaway jam there for the Cougars, and instead it's a foul on Cam Paulding. Thomas had Horton and Ant Moore both leaking out for a jam. The foul will be on Cam Paulding, his 3rd instead, and it's going to be 2 free throws for Young. I'm not sure if someone opened a door there. A little bit of a breeze coming into the game, as Young just a little short on that free throw attempt. Just a 50% free throw shooter this season. You know he's definitely not going to airball a second one. You usually put a little more juice into the second one after you airball the first, although he still came up way short. So lead at 8 here for CSU, 54-46. Approaching the midway point here in this second half. Thomas over to Horton. Horton with it, picked up by Evans. Down to 6 on the shot clock. Cougars got to do something. Off a screen, top of the key. No good on that attempt. Couldn't hit back-to-back trays. Fortune does have 2 3-point makes in this one, but he's just 2 of 8. Far side, it's Boyd. The junior trying to dump that one down low, looking for Thomas. Down to 3 on the shot clock. Does he recognize it? Ball's going to bounce up, and the shot clock is going to buzz. Another shot clock violation caused by this Cougar defense. Well, that's what you want to see if you're the Cougars. So they force the turnover there. That's 2 turnovers and 2 missed free throws. The last 3 possessions for Tuskegee after they had cut the deficit all the way down to 5. What a look down low to Cam Paulding, and he got hit on the arm. He'll head to the free throw line. That's a great pass there from Devin Porter Wilson, slinging it through the defense and finding Cam Paulding down low.
Tuskegee with 9 team fouls. Cam Paulding at the line shooting 2.
This will be Paulding's first free throw attempts this afternoon. Similar to Young on the other end for Tuskegee. Paulding not a great free throw shooter, just a 41% free throw shooter so far on the year. He's got one more to come. And gets 1 out of 2 for CSU. Tuskegee has been scoreless for the last 2+ minutes. Lead back up to 9 here for CSU, and they're going to call a timeout. As Coach Taylor and company want to talk things over. 55-46, Cougars up 9.
I knew that there was an opportunity to have my college paid for if I was good enough to play baseball at that level. That was going to make a big difference in my family. D2 baseball gave me an opportunity to play at a high level and to get an education that's going to be valuable for me throughout the rest of my life. I chose to take my experience of being a student athlete and pursue that within my career and to get a master's degree. If I wouldn't have had a baseball scholarship, there'd be no chance that I'm doing what I'm doing today.
Don't you worry, my child. Everything's gonna be just fine. Little darling, you keep on walking, 'cause I ain't never gonna leave your side.
As kids fall in love with sports, our universities are working every day to keep college sports safe, so you can watch them play with a little less worry and a little more joy.
(55-46). It's a 9-point advantage for the Cougars. We've got just 8:56 remaining in this one. CSU trying to hang on for what would be their 3rd win of the season. Right now sitting at 2-2 on the year. Picked up that early win against Barton, and that was a real impressive team against a solid Barton squad. Part of that 45-second classic, but then they fell victim to Mount Olive. That was a tough loss for them as they had the late lead, but Mount Olive came back, forced overtime, and then came away with the 107-102 win. But the Cougars bounced back, taking down Albany State on the roads, 67-55, and then after that, it was the tough loss that no one wants to talk about as Xavier, Louisiana came into the Lumpkin Center and spoiled the Cougars home debut. Couple of free throws go down for Tuskegee, 55-48. By the way, some surprise records around the Peach Belt Conference so far about Georgia Southwestern starting the season 3-0, undefeated on the year. UNC Pembroke, obviously one of the best teams in the conference at 5-1, but how about Francis Marion starting the year 0-2? Without a win so far are the Patriots. Cougars just moving that ball around, making Tuskegee work in that zone. And they've done a good job flashing to the corners as well as the elbows. Look at the ball movement, wide open, JT from the corner. Can't get it to go down. Ant Morris, sky and high, that's gonna go off Tuskegee. That was the look right there that you wanted if you're CSU, a wide open look from Thomas in the corner. Well, those looks not only in the corner, but at the elbow when you see both Paulding and Taylor flash to the elbows, those looks are going to be open. Here's another open look, this time this near side corner, and another miss, though, by CSU. Couple of open looks from distance, but two more misses for CSU, but another turnover forced. Up ahead, JT, and wisely done there by Horton to reset. 20 turnovers now on the afternoon for Tuskegee. That's a new season high. Cougar defense getting after it. Look at Zay Horton flying in and getting it to go down. He's shooting just 7 for 16 from the field, 2 and 9 from deep, but he's got 20 points, leading the Cougars in scoring. Down low, a miss there from Thomas. And Jalen Thomas comes in and pokes it away, and a foul is going to be whistled. Otherwise, we had another jam coming on the other end. Zay Horton will be the one that's whistled for the foul as him and Thomas got tangled up. Take us to the under 8 media timeout. 57-48, Cougs on top.
As Division II student athletes, we are committed to being our best.
Division II National SAC is proud to partner with the Sports Science Institute to play a role in the cardiac safety and health of student athletes.
Although many student athletes with heart conditions live healthy, active lives, up to 10 NCAA student athletes die each year of sudden cardiac death during athletic activities.
The facts are that immediate delivery of CPR and AED saves lives, so everyone should be CPR and AED trained. Please join us in this important initiative. Make it yours.
It's not about where you were born. It's not about your gender or the color of your skin, or whether you're rich, poor, or in the middle. No matter what you play, if you have the skill and drive to succeed in school and in sports, we'll provide the opportunity.
Thomas will head to the line here for 2. As he gets the first one to go down. One more to come here for Thomas. He's one of 2 in double figures. Him and Eads leading the way here for the Tigers. 57-50, 7-point Cougar advantage as we reach the 7-minute mark here inside the Lumpkin Center. 7 to go, 7-point lead. Into the corner, 2-point attempt that time. No good from Horton, and now it's a leak out here for Tuskegee, a 3-on-1. Instead of the layup, they decide to go to the outside, and they blow the fast break opportunity. That could be a big turn of events there as CSU's going to come away with the rebound. Boy, that should have been down to a 5-point lead for CSU. Instead, they have the ball still up 7. Anthony Moore, the turnaround. Pretty shot. A thing of beauty there from Moore. Moore into double figures now. He's got 11, so 3 in double figures for the Cougars. That ball deflected, taken away. Jalen Thomas up ahead. Stanley Taylor has to somehow get that one to go down. He was caught underneath the basket. A late pass there from Thomas, but Taylor still flips it up and in. Down low, Thomas can't finish, and Jalen Thomas grabs the rebound. Remember, it was 57-50, and Tuskegee had a 3-on-1 fast break. Instead of getting the layup, they go out to the 3-point line, then end up missing a jumper, and all of a sudden CSU has 4 straight, and now they're heading back to the free throw line for 2 more. Anthony Moore at the line for 2, just a 57% free throw shooter this season. Gets the first one to go down. He's 2 of 3 on the afternoon. He's got 12. Brian Givens, by the way, checking back in here for the Cougars, so Coach Moore is going to give him the final 5.5 minutes with those 4 personal fouls. And Moore gets the roll on both free throws. 2 go down for the Cougars. They're up 13. This is their largest lead of the night on a little 6-0 spurt here inside the Lumpkin Center. And now the defense really getting after it for the Cougars. Ball bouncing up. It's loose. Cam Paulding can't quite get it. It goes right through the wickets there. And the Cougars will have possession. You just want to see a strong finish to the game here if you're the Cougars. Up 13. Only 5 minutes remaining in this one. Taylor's going to take one from the corner, and the Cougars hit what's become a rare 3 this afternoon. They're just 5 of 24 from distance, shooting just 20% from behind the arc. But they're up big, 16-point lead now. Off the side of the backboard, here comes Horton up ahead. Anthony Moore! Oh my goodness. I can't believe he just even attempted that one. The Cougars, at some point the Cougars want one of these to go down. We've seen Horton try a couple, Moore trying one there. Tuskegee doing everything in their power to prevent from being put on a poster. That free throw no good there from Moore, but he's got 14 here this afternoon. Down low, it's Eads, easy jam. Well, the difference maker in this one, obviously the turnover story. Tuskegee, 21 turnovers this afternoon. The Cougars have struggled mightily from the field. They are shooting just 36% from the field, only 20% from behind the arc. Yet right now they're up 17. And Moore catching fire late here. He's got 16 now on 6 of 10 shooting. Final media timeout here inside the Lumpkin Center. 17-point Cougar advantage.
The American dream to me as an immigrant means having the opportunities that my parents didn't have. Being the first one in my family to graduate, it meant everything my parents sacrificed for me to get to this point. It was paying off.
Estoy muy orgulloso de Michael por haberse graduado de colegio.
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not had a scholarship. It would just relieved a lot of the financial burden.
These are your teams, your players, your community of fans. This is where they play, where they practice, where you cheer. At every meet, every event, every game. Your community is passionate, dedicated, supportive. You know the tension of a close game and the thrill of the win. So while you're cheering, keep an eye out for anything out of the ordinary. If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
Being a champion takes more than
(69-52). Cougars in front by 17. 3.5 minutes left in this one. Despite the poor shooting, it's been a real impressive performance by CSU, especially on the defensive side of the ball, as their defense has been forcing a lot of turnovers. The Cougars on par to pick up what will be their 3rd win of the season, to improve to 3-2 on the year. They'll be back in action to take on West Georgia not until December 2nd, so the Cougars will have a little bit of a break here, a little bit of a Thanksgiving break for CSU. Speaking of Thanksgiving breaks, the women's basketball team not really getting one. They'll be in action this upcoming Tuesday to take on the women's side of Tuskegee. So make sure you head on out here to the Lumpkin Center if you're in town, as a charge is going to be called there on Stanley Taylor, who draws the charge. Great job there by Taylor down low, just outside the restricted area. But the women's squad in action here inside the Lumpkin Center on Tuesday, November 26th, taking on Tuskegee at 5:30 p.m. And then they're going to be in action that following weekend, that upcoming weekend, part of the Valdosta State Thanksgiving Classic. They've got a game on Friday and Saturday. Friday against Eckerd, and then Saturday at the host school against Valdosta State. So 2 big games on the road for the Lady Cougars, but 1 to go inside the Lumpkin Center before then. So make sure you head on out here Tuesday night at 5:30. Lady Cougars will be back in action. They've started the season 2-0. A great start for the Lady Cougars. Leasia Williamson leading the way for the Lady Cougars, averaging 21 points a game so far for Columbus State. Been a hot start for CSU. In fact, they have 4 averaging double figures on the season. Alongside Williamson, it's Marilos, Boston, and Gibson. Not gonna lie, I think one of the funnest additions to the squad is Marilos, just from watching her shoot the rock. 7 of 17 from behind the arc. She can launch it from distance. Can be a big spark for this Lady Cougar squad. And this is a fun team that they have this season. And already off to a good start with their new head coach, Matt Hauser, in his first year as a head coach. Cougars breaking the press with Givens. They're just trying to close this one out. Up 14, 2:25 and counting to go. Paulding with it, gets tripped. To the free throw line he goes.
Blocking foul, Tuskegee, number 13.
The next home game for CSU, we mentioned December 2nd against West Georgia. They'll have back-to-back home games here inside the Lumpkin Center, as Albany State will come to town as well. And they'll go on the road against Tuskegee. And then the Cougars will finally play in their first Peach Belt Conference game December 18th. Their first PBC game will be on the road at USC Aiken. And boy, the Pacers and the Cougars, they've had some fun battles over the past couple of years. Those are some high-flying, high-scoring games between those two. One more free throw to come here for Paulding. Two minutes to go in this one. Three-pointer good again. Boyd's hit a couple of threes here for Tuskegee. Two late threes here for Boyd. He's got 8 points on the afternoon. Well, Tuskegee, after this one against the Cougars, they'll finally head back home. They haven't been home since November 16th. They'll take on Montevallo, a team that they actually lost to earlier this year, 77-73. So the return trip will see Montevallo heading to Tuskegee, and then they'll be on the road for 3 straight at Morehouse, Albany State, and West Florida before coming back home to take on this Cougar squad on December 11th. Well, make sure you check out facebook.com/CSU Cougars. We'll have all the post game for you on all of our social media sites, facebook.com/CSU Cougars, as well as our Cougar Sports TV, YouTube, and on top of that, at CSU Cougars MBB on Twitter. Make sure you follow all of our social media accounts at CSU Cougars on Instagram as well. We'll have all the post-game reaction and highlights alongside interviews coming up to follow the conclusion of this one. .156 left. Tuskegee on a 6-0 run thanks to 2 3 balls from Boyd. And they do the home run ball break ahead for Zay Horan, who lays it in off the glass. What an inbound pass right there by Anthony Moore. Looking like Tom Brady back there launching one the distance of the court. As Zay Horton gets the lay-in for CSU. And Davis Jr. is going to pick up another foul. Zay Horton leading the way for CSU with 22 points. Another strong performance for the senior. He's averaging over 17 points a game this season. The 22 tonight, not quite a season high. Remember, he had 27 back against the opening season win against Barton. A turnover there by the Cougars. Leads to Boyd going all the way in for a layup, and he'll head to the free throw line. Boyd is just trying to rack up the points here late, as the Cougars a little sloppy finishing this one out. I'm sure we'll have a chance to catch up, most likely Zay Horton, and we'll chat with Anthony Moore in the post game. Those are the two leading the way here for CSU tonight. Cougars shooting poorly from the field. And how about this? In the second half, they're only shooting 35% from the field in the second half, yet they're still up 9. Cougars break the press cleanly there, and they can milk this shot clock down. Double comes. Givens goes right around it, all the way in for the layup. A blocking foul is going to be called as Boyd was in the restricted area. As Givens will head back to the free throw line.
It's on number 3, Greg Boyd. He has 3.
This will be free throw attempts 12 and 13 of the afternoon for Brian Givens. He's been making a living at the line, although he's missed his past few. He was 8 of 9 from the free throw line. He's missed 3 in a row. Gets that one to go down. 9 of 13 from the line is Brian Givens for 11 points tonight. 72-62 as Tuskegee takes a timeout. Just under a minute to play in this one. The Cougars looking to get back into the NCAA tournament, a spot that they haven't been for the past 2 years. Been a little bit of a strange turn of events for the CSU basketball squad, a squad that was so used to making the tournament. They barely squeaked into the Peach Belt Conference tournament for the past 2 years. They've been the 8th seed in each of the last 2 seasons. They finished just 9 and 13 in conference play in 2017 and 8 and 14 last year. Really interested to see how they stack up against the Peach Belt Conference talent. There's talent inside the PBC each and every season, but it'll be real good to see how they fare against some of their in-conference opponents. Get a chance to look at that once December 18th rolls around against USC Aiken. Just 3 seconds go off the clock and 2 more free throws upcoming for Tuskegee. Cougars just can't get this game to end. Cleaning up the wet spot down there as Millington is waiting at the free throw line. You've got to be extremely impressed with the play from Eads. And this one, if you're a Tuskegee fan, you're used to seeing that. But man, he was awfully good here this afternoon. 24 points for the senior to go along with 9 boards and 3 steals. And he did everything for the Golden Tigers. Shot it from the outside. Dribble drive. Crashing the glass. A very impressive performance this afternoon. Triple team comes on Givens as the Cougars break the press once again. Givens will be fouled, and why not? He'll head back to the free throw line for 2 more. This will be the 33rd and 34th free throw attempts in this game for the Cougars. Not only has Brian Givens made a living at the line, the Cougars really have 32 free throw attempts, although they're shooting just 65% from the line in this one. Again, not really a great free throw shooting team in general, just 62% free throw shooting team on the year. But the one spot that the Cougars have really struggled in as of late, especially the past couple of seasons, is the rebounding department and giving up those offensive rebounds. They gave up 12 offensive boards to Tuskegee this afternoon, and they've been out-rebounded them. They've been out-rebounded by them by 5 in this one. 40-35, the difference in the rebounding department with Tuskegee on top. Despite all that, though, Cougars will be happy to come away with a win if they can close things out here in the final 36.3 of this one. I'm sure Coach Moore will discuss the play, not only of their defense and the intensity that they had on defense, but we'll discuss the effort that they had all around on the court. I know that things weren't going well for them on the offensive side, but they did end up grabbing 14 offensive rebounds themselves. They were still crashing the glass offensively, and that allowed them to get second chance opportunities. 13 second chance points, by the way, in this one for the Cougars. Short on that first attempt is Givens. And he's good on the second one. Tuskegee, another bucket, takes the quick timeout. 73-65. Jose Horton mentioned that he was a third-team selection in the Peach Belt Conference last year. He's got his 2019-2020 campaign off to a real great start. Already earned a Player of the Week in the Peach Belt Conference. He's averaging 17 points, 8 boards, and 3 assists to open up this season. He's one of the difference makers on this Cougar squad, and to be honest, he's a player that the Cougars have to have inside the lineup each and every night. And the health of Zay Horton is something to monitor throughout this season. Played in 28 games last year for the Cougars, but he played through a variety of injuries, and he's already had numerous injuries in this season that he's been playing through as well. Ant Moore is going to try another home run ball. This time he hits Taylor on the pump fake and gets the layup. Cougars going the distance. Full court passing here from Ant Moore. And why not finish this game off with another forced turnover, as Moore will head back to the line for 2 more free throws. Put a cherry on top with the turnovers forced. That will be turnover number 23 for Tuskegee. Moore's season high and career high, obviously, with the Cougars, 22 points. Came against Mount Olive. He's got 16 here tonight. No good on the second attempt. 76-65. Final seconds going to tick away in this one, as Boyd will go in for the layup, and that should finish things off with the scoring, although Bryant Givens, smart play, great play there. Great sportsmanship from the Cougars, as he's just going to dribble this one out. And the Cougars will pick up their 3rd win this season, 76-67. They come away with the win over Tuskegee. Great job by the Cougars this afternoon. Zay Horton leading the way for CSU as he pounded the rock inside, picked up 22 points. Anthony Moore with 16, Brian Givens with 12. The 3 leading scorers in double figures for Columbus State. Again, make sure you catch all the action on our social media accounts. Facebook.com/CSU Cougars and at CSU Cougars MBB on Twitter. It's going to wrap things up for us here inside the Lumpkin Center. For our cameraman, our statistician, our producer, for everyone here in Columbus, Georgia, I'm Corey Hollister. Final score, Cougars win this one 76-67, picking up their 3rd win of the year.